The last thing I want to touch on real quick before we wrap is so Jim Harbaugh said that this is not going to be an every year thing of flirting with the NFL, and he knew
Yeah.
now that this is what he wanted to do, even though all reports say he was not offered the Minnesota job. So this isn't going to be an every year thing. What do you think about that?
Um, if Jim Harbaugh was Pinocchio, I would say that his nose just grew a lot. I'm sorry, man. Like I just this is who he is. When you have a certain sample size of a guy's career, whether it's a player or coach, you tend to see trends, right? And then after a while, you get a full picture of the type of person that they are. And even if they may have the best intentions, like their nature and their personality and their way of conducting business always seems to surface one way or the other at a certain point. So I think that Harbaugh made intend not to want to put Michigan through this fiasco again, but the reason that you want to go to NFL that somehow has magically disappeared because you didn't get this job with Minnesota, right? This quote unquote itch that you have. Oh, it instantly was relieved the minute that you didn't get this job. So you never, So Andy Reid retires after this upcoming
Right.
season,
And that
and
is,
the
you
Chiefs
nailed it.
call you. You're not going to be like, oh, right, yeah, I'm happy here. See, that's why you don't say things like that. How about this is when it comes to this is where maybe a guy who's a little bit more um
Savvy.
savvy. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you. Savvy with how he articulates things may help himself a little bit more. Just own it. Like, look, no, I've always had the itch of returning back to NFL. I want to vet my options. I was able to do that. And I just want to say that after doing that, I'm fully committed to continuing to build this program. But don't say that this will never happen
I'm not.
again. Like,
But
come
see,
on.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure you could pull that off. Of just, you know what I mean? Because you didn't get the offer. So it's not like you got the offer and the job was yours if you wanted it and you turned it down. You didn't get the offer.
Right,
And I
right.
I just I don't know. It would have been it just I don't know. I really don't. But I think that statement is going to turn out to be a lie. I just think this is going to come back again because it seemingly has been here every year. Whether it's waiting last year to sign the new contract that cut your salary in half because you hadn't performed, whether it was this year, the waiting all a full 30 something days, it just I think this is always going to be here. Um,
So I think it's worse nowadays because I think compared to earlier in his tenure at Michigan, let's say after the 15 and 16 season, when he still had legitimate interest from the NFL. For one, Michigan was doing really well his first couple of years. He just came off a really good run in San Francisco, so he had legitimate interest. Remember, the Colts were at one point when Andrew Luck legitimately interested in bringing him in. Uh, now I think it's him. This is him that's trying to fill for these jobs. These aren't these
right.
teams knocking down his door. It's him trying to scratch that itch. So it's like, well, you didn't really resolve it. You just didn't get your way, right? You were not convinced me that if Harbaugh had the Vikings offer sheet on his table and Michigan, the, a sheet to extend himself in Michigan or reshape his current deal, that
Red
he would
green,
have.
the red pill or the blue pill? Which
Right,
pill is he
exactly.
taking?
That he would have chose Michigan. You don't go through the loops and hoops and all this stuff that he went through without having your bags packed, waiting for someone to pick you up from the porch. Like it's just he he was waiting to leave. Like he was waiting. This is what he wanted to do. I think that in an ideal situation, because sometimes in life, you're torn. You do go through things times when you're torn, and you want to have your cake and eat it too. I don't think like he wants to leave Michigan, but I do believe that it's in him to one day return to the NFL. So, look, um, I think it's just that, and that's not going to resolve itself. And I think the more success that Michigan has under him, and the more legitimacy their opportunities arise from NFL, if they do come in the future, this situation will happen again. Now, maybe he handles it better, right?
He
But
won't. He
he probably won't.
refuses to do it. It just
Yeah,
to me, we talked about it last week. When you live your professional life in front of a microphone and a camera, it's just so easy to squash this stuff, and he just will not do it. And you can't tell me that Jim Harbaugh is so anti social media or is just so removed from it that he doesn't hear this stuff. There's no way. There's just no way. Excuse me. So it's this is going to be an every year thing, and it's going to be. And even if it's just rumors, even if it's just Schefter reporting, oh, there's some next year in the offseason, oh, there's some interest between the Bears or the whatever. It would be easy for him to just say, I'm not going anywhere. No, I'm not interested in the NFL jobs. I'm here at Michigan. We're trying to win a national championship. That's the goal. Boom, done. And that took no effort. And that's the exact thing I said last week.